What is up guys, it's your boy Swollam here, back with another classic WoW video. With the official hardcore servers coming sooner rather than later, I wanted to make a video on how to obtain raw gold, specifically while leveling, to make sure you get that level 40 mount by the time you actually hit level 40, and also to make sure that you get as close as possible to getting that epic mount at level 60. Now I am doing this mostly from a solo self-found perspective, because I believe that even if trading is allowed, some players will play on a solo self-found basis, and for raw gold, most of it comes from vendoring items anyway, so you can do it completely without having to rely on other people to buy whatever you are selling. Having access to raw gold early on will also be incredibly incredibly valuable, as the purchasing power of each individual gold is at its absolute peak early in a server's lifespan, and the purchasing power will go down every single day as more and more people get access to raw gold. Now, what I mean by purchasing power is that 100 gold will get you more stuff in week 1 than 100 gold will in week 2, simply due to how inflation works. This is important because of, for example, investments, or if you just want to stack up on some materials that you might want later down the line and you want to get them while they're cheap. Now, for the purpose of that, I also want to shout out that I have made a classic hardcore gold guide, which covers farms and investments just like this, made specifically for the hardcore servers. Plus, upon purchasing the guide, you also get access to a private gold making community for classic WoW, which can help you make thousands of gold. You can check it out through the link in the video description. Now let's get into it. Advice number 1 is to grab skinning. Skinning is an insane profession to have while leveling, because it simply benefits pretty much everyone in terms of increasing the amount of gold that you get while you're leveling up. Skinning also allows you to skin beasts for additional materials, and although they do not give the most amount of additional gold to begin with, this scales incredibly well with your level. By level 10 you might have gained a couple extra silvers, but by level 40 you will most likely have gained anywhere between 10 and 40 extra gold, depending a little bit on how you level up. Some of the locations where you can farm for the most raw gold per hour, you actually end up killing beasts, in which case having skinning will further increase your gold per hour from those locations, pushing you closer to that 14 gold extra by level 40, which is basically half of your level 40 mount. And specifically for hardcore servers, many people will choose professions that benefit their gameplay in terms of survival. Two big professions here are alchemy and engineering. Now, alchemy is mainly supported by herbalism, and engineering is mainly supported by mining. This means that the most popular professions on these servers will be alchemy, engineering, herbalism, and mining. This is important because that means while everyone is leveling up, there will be a lot of skinnable mobs just laying on the ground, giving you free skill up points, and most of all, free gold. And there are many locations you will find during your hardcore journey where you can simply sit in one location and skin other people's mobs, like for example the Yeti Cave in Dunmorrow. So seriously, if raw gold is something you're looking for, I always recommend skinning. Even if you want to have something like herbalism and mining eventually, I would still use skinning while leveling up to level 60, and then swap professions and farm herbs and mining veins with that level 60 mount. This is also because herbalism and mining nodes will be incredibly competitive at the launch and will slow down your leveling process, while skinning you can pretty much always keep up with your level. Now, when farming raw gold, there are mainly two different farms that you want to think about. You have humanoid farms and you have beast farms. For humanoid farms, they will give you raw gold by themselves through looted silver values, and it will give you cloth which you can either sell for vendor loot or vendor gold, or turn into bandages for even more gold before selling it. The bonus of humanoid farms is that they also have a bigger drop rate on grey, white and green items, specifically grey items like weapons, which can vendor for about a gold per piece, plus minus. This means in some cases humanoid farms can be better in terms of gold per hour, but they also rely more on RNG, because a lot of gold does come from those grey weapon drops. Now, from beast farms you will get a very steady amount of gold per hour due to your gold value being derived from what the mob actually drops on a regular basis. You have whiskers from cats, manes from wolves, and crocodile pelts and so on. even gorillas drop a lot of good vendor value items. Now for beast farms, you can also obviously increase that gold amount by having skinning, like we just talked about earlier in this video. So with all of this being said, let me show you some of my favorite locations for where to farm raw gold in Classic WoW. First off, let's cover 4 different farming locations I personally use in order to farm enough gold for my level 40 mount, all of which are beast farms, and you definitely want to have skinning. You have the tigers in the Swamp of Sorrows. Now I say tigers here because they usually give you the most valuable items, but the tigers are also found throughout the entire zone, where you will also find crocodiles and spiders, which are definitely worth killing. You also have the gorillas in Stranglethorn Vale, and here I will show you 2 different farms that are pretty close to each other, giving you 2 different places to farm. These gorillas have a pretty lucrative loot table, and will give you the best raw gold that you can get at this level, especially if you combine this with skinning. And the farm that I personally do the most, Tigers in Badlands. This one is incredibly slept on, and I don't see many people farming here, which is personally why I like it so much, because there's almost never any competition, and they can drop really good vendor value items like the long soft tails, bristly whiskers, and wicked claw. You also have some farms past level 40, like for example my personal favorite is this one, killing steel and draw snappers in Tanaris. This one is very known from farming turtle meat, and also has a pretty decent experience farm, but these turtles also drop pretty good vendor loot, even better if combined with skinning, obviously. Now with farming covered, there are a couple more steps you can take to maximize how much raw gold that you actually make, and how to make sure that you can afford your level 40 mount and get closer to that level 60 mount. First off, you can save a lot of gold by not training all of your class abilities. Let's be real, in Classic WoW you actually get way more abilities than you actually need, at least while leveling, and many of your abilities are only useful in very niche situations, in which case I'd rather not learn them until I have to, and save my gold instead. Exactly what you should and should not train depends on each individual class and your playstyle, but personally I only really train spells that I use on a regular basis, plus any class buffs I get access to, and any defensive abilities that I get. As a warlock for example, I can opt not to train soulstone. I can also choose 1 or 2 demons and therefore only train abilities for the demons I actually actively use, and I can save gold by not training every single curse that I get access to, because personally I don't use all of them, until very high levels anyway. Plus, some classes get a free level 40 mount, like Warlocks and Paladins, but yeah, pick and choose which spells to actually train and upgrade, and you can save a lot of gold while leveling. Also, when questing, if the quest doesn't offer an upgrade, pick the item with the highest vendor value. This sounds obvious, but some leveling add-ons have autocomplete enabled, where they automatically pick items in slot 1 or slot 2, or anything your class can use, or maybe you personally always choose whatever cloth item you get from the quest if you play a cloth class, then check if it's an upgrade afterwards. So my advice here is, check if the quest offers an upgrade first before accepting a quested reward, and if there are no upgrades, choose whatever has the highest vendor value. Now of course, if you want to involve the trading and using the auction house, you can also make a lot more gold, which I will also have several videos coming out about later down the line. Either way, that's pretty much what I have for you today. Leave a like and subscribe, and let me know your preferred gold making methods in the comments down below, and check out my hardcore gold making guide if you want to get rich as fuck in Classic Hardcore. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.